as a web designer, you're going to have to consider two main aspects of the website. So one is going to be the web page layout, right? So how all the elements, the composition of everything that is on the individual page as you go through. And the other one is going to be the website structure. So basically, how are things connected, right? So typically, let's start with website structure here, right? We're going to have a home page, and then that home page will have subpages. And then those subpages will have subpages, right? Now, depending on how you want to lay it out, what you're trying, what the main purpose of the site is, could significantly change that. So, for instance, if we were to like look at Amazon's website, right? They're gonna have a vertical navigation bar. That's typically what you see. You'll see mine, or I'm sorry, horizontal navigation bar. That's what I have, right? And then I have these drop downs. That works for my style because I have main sections and then I have a bunch of each class. But if you were to look at Prime or Amazon, what you're going to see is that they'll have a main nav bar on top, but then they usually have a vertical nav bar as well, because that way you can kind of more specify what items you're trying to look at, right? So that navigation makes sense. That structure makes sense for what they're trying to produce. Okay, so you have to think about the structure of how everything is connected as well as the general layout here, right? So typically, most websites are going to have something sort of like this. So you'll usually have a logo at the top left. The top left is kind of the sacred corner because no matter what device you're on, the top left is always viewable. So for instance, if we were to look at like a typical phone, right? The top left, that is going to be visible if I'm in this website. Even if there's stuff that's off the page over there, you can still see what's here. And if I go like this, it's also still in the top left. So no matter what, I guess that's the right, well, whatever. It's going to be on the top section, okay? So no matter what, that is the holy corner, okay? So, but you have to think about, like, is it worth it, though? Like, do you want to do a vertical navigation? Do you want to do a horizontal navigation? Do we want to have a banner? Typically, you'll have content usually in the center, right? So you have to kind of think about how you want to lay the page out in general, based on what the client's, requirements and what they want themselves. But that's very typical of like a graphic design thing. You just have to think about how you want to lay out the page.